William and I, we initially got on a call at the end of November, and just to go and see his whole physiology, his confidence, his self-esteem, the way he carries himself, just to see everything be so drastically different after 90 days, away from the business success, away from everything else. His energy is different, and he's definitely putting out an energy that's attracting an enormous amount of business into his life, great relationships, a lot of confidence for his future. So I'm really excited to get on this call because I think it's going to really inspire a lot of people to know what is possible. And the more you go and you put time into yourself, the more it's going to reflect in your life, your business, your income, your relationships, your health, and your happiness. So I recently went and changed everything over in this group to more focused on self-mastery, because really that's what it is. It's directed towards business owners, but really it's igniting your own personal potential through self-mastery to have exceptional and extraordinary business success. And William is a living testament of that. So I want to go and dive into some questions. I want to introduce William, really great guy. And yeah, excited to go and dive into the questions and get your perspective, William. So how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing really good, thanks. Nice to see you.
You too.
Awesome. So are you good if I just kind of start going at some
hmm
questions? And awesome. So can you kind of share with us kind of where you were at, both like personally and your professional life before starting the Magic Mindset Method at the start of December?
So I guess in December, I was, my old thinking was, in the winter, there's no work and, things are always slow and, it's just not a great place to be, depressed and kind of grouchy and yeah, a person I don't want to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just, I don't know, I guess I didn't really. No, well, I didn't like myself, and I didn't like who I was at that time, and just where life was going and taking me, and yeah, it wasn't a fun place to be, but yeah, it's been it's been a wonderful journey so far. So,
That's awesome. Perfect. So what would you say kind of motivated you to join the program, and like what were you kind of hoping to achieve when you started the program?
in the beginning, there may be a feeling of you don't know what's gonna, how it's gonna help, but then, I've just always learned from doing so many programs that you got to dive in and, you know, like if you're coaching or whatever, you got to do it, what they're advising you to do. And, you know, I think with past programs, I didn't do everything they said. So that's why I didn't get the results I wanted. And, I guess I didn't have that self belief. And
Mhm.
I think that's a really big key that I just want to put in there that, anything you're doing, if you're not 100%, believing in it, then don't do it. But I mean, if you don't give something a shot and go 100% in, you'll never know, what you're capable of. So ultimately, you know, take a risk, jump out and do it.
Yeah, that makes
You
a
know,
lot of sense.
and
And
at that time, I, I was ready for another change, get another level and just, move in the direction I want to go in. And I guess, I just felt like that was the next step. You reaching out was just the universe telling me it's time to keep moving. So
yeah, well, I'm really happy that we got a chance to, because just talking to you back then compared to talking to you now, it's like you're a totally different person. It's like not just like, with the business success, but even just your happiness, your communication, your confidence, your self-esteem, and all of these things, they go into business in so many ways. If you're
yeah,
depressed or stressed out, like it's going to hurt you a lot more than you think it's going to hurt you, I guess is the best way of putting it. So
yeah.
did you have any like reservations or like skepticism before like starting?
I think like with anything, there may be that feeling in the beginning, but but I've just always, been the one to jump in and do something because you never know. I mean, it's just, you got to trust that you're there for a reason and, you're there to change and it wouldn't be brought to you if if it wasn't your time to do that program or whatever it is that's in front of you. So, I've always just gone into everything 100% and, it's not always been right, but, that's how you learn. You just And then over the years, you'll see different things. If it's something you should do it. If it's not, if you don't feel it, don't do it. But
Yeah. Completely, and that's really the best way of putting it is you really don't know unless you go and you trust yourself and you commit yourself, and you don't know how a simple decision could change your whole entire life, and all it
mhm.
comes down to is making that decision. So, would you kind of like walk us through like kind of like some significant milestones like that you've experienced over the last 90 days? Like, what are kind of the key takeaways, the kind of the biggest things that stand out over like changes?
Changes. Well, I mean, after the first cert session, I was just overwhelmed with joy and happiness, and lots of love. And yeah, I mean, just I think releasing that. I don't know. I don't remember which ones it was, but it definitely were some things I really think I needed to get rid of. And I think that was the really starting point of everything just getting so good. And,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think that out of the like our first search session, I think that the out of the four deep core beliefs that we shifted, I think that two of them were around money. And then right after that, that's when you started landing like $2,000 to $5,000 deals left, right, and center. It's like just everything was coming your way. All good
Yeah,
people, opportunities, all this stuff was coming your way. Like the moment we went, we basically did that. And I think that was on about 2 weeks into the program, so maybe middle of December. And you think
yep,
around Christmas, you'd be really slow, but around Christmas is when you were getting so many things coming your way. And like the
yeah.
deals were landing, which was like kind of awesome. So that's awesome. That's so good to
I
hear. So
think at that time, yeah, it was my best winter ever. I mean, I think I had two projects going on at that time, and which for me that's a lot. Just jumping project to project, but still, it felt good to have multiple things going on. And
completely, no
yeah,
doubt.
it's definitely a boost in the right direction. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing how much your energy determines your success. And if you're not looking after your energy, your thoughts, and your beliefs, you may think you're successful in business, and maybe somebody is doing quite good in business, but sometimes they don't really understand how much unlocked potential there is there because they're not doing the actions that they maybe deep down inside know that they should be taking,
right,
and they're just either I don't know, maybe in a little bit of denial over how strong being in the right energetic state for business growth is. Maybe they're in denial over how important that is, or maybe they're just a little scared to look after, like deep beliefs or thoughts that they might have, maybe even as young as childhood, that maybe they're a little scared to dive into that or
yeah,
uncomfortable, which makes a lot of sense. If you're the first time you do something, it's always a little bit uncomfortable.
it is. And I mean, I guess that from doing multiple different things, I've done hypnosis, I've done. I think that was the like most one, or that was like the first time I think I was a little bit uncomfortable at the first one, because you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But then after, getting to know the person and all that, it was fine. It just, you know, like you say, it's just a little uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's where I want to say is, I mean, with the cert sessions, it's not, the sessions are fantastic, for shifting, but ultimately, if you're going into anything, you better commit 100%, or, that's the key factor to it, really. Because, after that first one, I had continued to, read the sheets and that kind of stuff. And those were the things that really helped me shift those feelings and, just keep that eliminated from my life. So
Lately,
if you're
yeah.
going to get in the program, I recommend you stay on top of it, because I've fallen off a couple times here, and I could definitely feel a difference, from when I did and when I don't do it. It's definitely something you want to keep on top of.
Yeah, definitely. It is very important. And, going through those sheets, because sometimes when you're holding on to, you could be holding on to things from when you're 8 years old that are hurting your income and hurting your business, and they might want to creep back in. So if you're not really on top of it, and then it's easy for just your body's so used to holding on to these things for 30 years. It's kind of like you don't stay on top of it. It's a little tougher. And that's why I love meeting with people in the program once a week, and because it's not just a matter of having a great program and having great techniques and strategies, but it's also accountability. Someone,
Yeah.
kind of keeping you on track and making sure that you get the transformation you came for. Like you paid for a transformation and I wanted to make sure that you got it. So like us having those weekly meetings were definitely huge. So with this, with so basically I want to like jump in a little bit to like the business side of it and like the income side of it, because like what
Yeah.
you achieved is like an incredible jump from making like $150,000 last year to having 200K months 90 days later, just by the search sessions and the daily winning formula and totally shifting your energy, your thoughts, and your belief systems. It's like that's like astronomical growth. So can you kind of like describe how you feel like the program helped facilitate that growth?
I feel like, not everybody believes it, but energy is everything. And, how you feel about yourself is how others will treat you. So ultimately, when you release all this stuff, it's gonna, bring people to you that are on that same, feeling good about themselves and you. Maybe they heard something about you or whatever from a referral or whatever. Then yeah, just from that, I mean, this project came to me. I looked at it, and yeah. So and it'll probably be 280, $300,000 in profit, and it's just you know they fell into my lap, and I'm grateful for it. It's just
That's
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like still you're like what?
and that's like this month, right? The month of
Yeah,
March.
either at the end of this month or at the beginning of April is when we'll start. So
So that's yeah. Wow, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you. So that's 300K net profit. That's not
hmm
in income or business income. Like that's not business revenue. That's basically net profit in your pocket type of thing.
yep, yep.
Wow. That's phenomenal, man. I'm so happy for you. I couldn't be happier. That's sweet. So then would you say like, so apart, like aside, like obviously your business has 10x since we started working together. I think it's pretty safe to say that. And
Mhm.
would you say like, apart from like the financial growth, you've also mentioned like a lack of, like a boost in confidence, or like how this like change manifest, like how did this change in confidence manifest in your daily life, in your business dealings, just having a really high self-esteem, walking with a lot of confidence, having a lot of amazing executive communication in your business dealings. Like, how would you say that this change is manifested in both your daily life and your business dealings?
Daily, I mean, I feel like recently I've reconnected with some business connections, and one of them invited me. He had like a group he puts together for he has some, I think it's like a guys group or whatever, and they play some sports or whatever. So he was looking for another person to join. He's like, "You want to come join us?" I was like, "Sure." I mean, so it was it's fun to get out and meet some different people, and just yeah, getting out is the thing right now. A lot of I don't know. A lot of people just want to stay home, but I can't do that a lot. So I like to get out, meet people, and just connect with people. So that's my that's my recharge time.
So
So
you definitely say like the confidence has kind of helped your social life and your business.
yeah, I mean, I when I'm at those events, the first time I didn't know anybody, but I felt comfortable, and just I can go talk to anybody. It doesn't matter how they see themselves or whatever. If if they feel like they're better than everybody or whatever, I'd be like, I would go over and talk to them. It doesn't matter. It's just none of them are like that, but it's just I guess an example. But it's yeah, I don't know. I feel like I used to be very timid and shy in public settings, and now it's just like there's just like an old friend to me, somebody I wouldn't know.
So
I
nothing
can talk.
bothers you. Nothing really makes you uncomfortable now.
No, no, not really. I mean, I think we've handled all that, and
It's awesome. It's really good. And I know like that, like from the time we started working together until today, like you've seen
Mhm.
some like drastic changes in relationships also. Because with,
Yeah,
obviously with the program, I focus heavily on energetics and emotional peak performance and the subconscious emotional work. And it's all kind of tied into business. But my main goal with the program and my main mission is to have business owners live a better life, not just more money, more time, but also better relationships, better health, clarity of mind, less stress and anxiety, actually living in the present moment. Because in my opinion, that's the definition of success, is to have it in all areas. I know a lot of people with a lot of money and no time freedom, where they've got a lot of money and they have sleepless nights because they're worried about so many things they can't shut off their brain. They have $1 million house and they have horrible relationships. right? So it's like, I don't want to just bring the business aspect. I want to bring like the full business, income, health, happiness, everything. And I know from when we started, there's been huge improvements in your relationships. Can you like kind of let everybody know kind of how has that been for you? Like, and you get as raw and vulnerable as you want, or yeah.
So I'm just trying to like in the beginning, I would, it more was because of myself, and how I felt about myself, but I wasn't able to really get around my parents or give them, call them or whatever, and, you know, have open conversations, just about whatever, and I just feel like now it's like, well, it's all, we understand each other better, and I think me, feeling better about myself makes it easier to um, not only accept who somebody is, but also just to have a conversation with them. I mean, I think you need to ultimately love yourself and just be okay with who you are and where you're going, and then just, yeah, I mean, it'll just flow then. I mean, ultimately you don't have to really think about anything. I used to always be in my head about trying to, what do I say next, or whatever. It's just like it's just fun to go meet with people and go converse, and yeah, just
Yeah, it's
have
a lot
conversation.
easier when you don't care what anyone thinks of you. Sometimes
No.
parents are the toughest because there's always like
Yeah.
stuff, right? So that would probably say is would you say that that's kind of like the biggest shift you've had is your relationship with your parents and how you guys communicate?
Yeah. I don't know, I guess it kind of shocked me. That, I mean, I was open, honest, and blunt with them, just about how I was feeling around them, and I think they're not aware of, how they feel about things. So, they're not aware of how they're making others feel. So
Yeah,
that could be why I felt the way I did also, because I'm very sensitive to other people's energy.
yeah. But now it's all kind of past you now. Now it's like you can brush it off and you can just
Mhm.
basically still you can call them, talk to them, have a great relationship, have a great conversation, and then move on with your day without feeling like kind of defeated or not wanting to build your business or not wanting to grow or get out there. It doesn't affect you the way it used to.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, like when I started my business, every time I'd get thrown off, I would just, it might be a month, it might be a week, it might be a couple weeks where I'd just, I'd be off track. And just, yeah, it wasn't fun. But now, if I get thrown off, it's maybe for a day. Maybe, I mean, this last one was probably about a week, but, I was aware of it and I was getting myself back to center. And, you know,
That's
so
awesome.
really, it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's all going to work out. I always know it's going to work out no matter what's going on. It'll be
Yeah.
just fine, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm doing this or doing something else. And yeah, and I guess another big, like huge thing just from clearing my energy and, this, I mean, uh, I'm going into mining and I was contacted by Discovery Channel and that was just I don't know, a shock out of the blue, just one of the people reached out to me on Facebook and wanted to have a conversation about getting me on a TV show. So that's, I don't know, it's pretty real.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm excited because when you said, "Oh yeah, no, you and your family, I'll fly you guys to Scottsdale, Arizona, and you'll be on the TV show too." I'm like, I've always wanted to be a movie star. I'm just joking, but yeah, that would be absolutely awesome to be in a on a show, and it's all around gold mining, right? The Discovery
Yeah.
Channel show, it's around gold mining.
hmm Yeah.
Perfect.
So, but I mean, I have a bigger vision than just, just the mine aspect of it. So, I mean, ultimately in the future, there'll be schools on there, not like traditional public schools. It'll be better than that, and letting the kids just expand their, visualizing and all that kind of stuff, what kids are really good at.
Yeah,
And then,
completely.
I'll have an engineering firm. I'll have, what else? Well, I'm going to have a rental company for the old equipment that we have. We'll redo it and send that to the rental company and then get new equipment in the mines. Yeah, and there's just all different areas and that I feel like I could go out and help, bigger mines be more efficient at what they do
Yeah.
and make more profits. So ultimately, it helps everybody.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, I just got three more. I want to be respectful of your time and everybody
Mhm.
watching. I really appreciate you like jumping on with me because it's like, even though we did an interview like 2 months ago, it's like you're a different person now from 2 months ago. And like your business success is just ramping up so much and your
Yeah.
energy is so much different. Your communication is so much different. I'm like, I got to get William on for another interview because now you're like wrapping up. I think you're done the program in a few days from now would be the
Hmm.
90-day mark.
Yep.
So yeah, so just like to, I don't know, it's just such a good feeling. Like he really gives value and meaning to like what I do. And that's why I do what I do, is like to see business owners like you completely be able to transform their life, not just like their income and their time, but also their relationships, how they feel about themselves, how they communicate with other people, how they look after their health. And it's not just physical health. There's a lot of people who go to the gym, they're physically healthy, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, they don't look after those areas whatsoever. So they're not tapping into their spiritual health. So therefore, amazing things don't really come their way because they just don't know how to do that or they've never tried to do that.
Yeah.
Mentally, they can't focus their mental energy because of stress, anxiety, running thoughts, whatever the case may be. Or, their emotional energy because they're just burnt out and they're not really doing the proper things to have their emotional energy where it needs to be. So that's kind of like the key is to just have people live a very healthy, wealthy, and happy life is kind of like my vision and have great relationships. So you're like, obviously, like out of customers I've had, you're like my biggest fan. And I could not be happier for you. But I have three more questions if that's cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so like what would you say would be like kind of the standout feature or aspect of like the magic mindset method, like this specific program? Because you've taken quite a few different like self-mastery programs and business programs before. What would you kind of say is like kind of the standout feature or aspect of this program that had the most significant impact on your life and your transformation?
I would say the cert sessions, but I mean, I guess I just want to say for anybody that's new to any of this, the whole thing it would be, very eye-opening and very good for somebody that doesn't know what their purpose is or, where they're going, in life or in their business. So ultimately, I'd say all around everything is just right in alignment, with, what you need to do step by step by step. And yeah, I mean, anybody that goes through it, I feel like as long as you're doing, what he teaches and like as you practice the sheets and all that kind of stuff, you'll see massive shifts if you do it. That's the key thing there. You have to do the work or you're not going to get the results.
Lately, yeah.
And that has
Awesome.
nothing
Well,
to do
thank
with
you.
what you do. I mean, it's all on the person doing the course. So, we all have to
Completely,
take
yeah.
on
And that's
responsibility.
why it's like it's very important to like I'm very I don't want to say I'm very picky, but I obviously get on quite a few calls with a lot of different people, and there are people where their business isn't quite at the level to take them to that next level, and they're lacking commitment. And even though they kind of have the finances, I got to turn them away because I want a perfect track record. I want someone who's committed because they're paying me for a transformation. If they're not willing to commit, even though we have the weekly calls and we do different stuff, they obviously have to show up to the weekly calls. They have to do the videos. They've got to do the worksheets. They've got to really be focused on what kind of life do you want? What do you want your life to look like in 5 or 10 years from now? If you want it to look amazing, you're going to do the work and we're going to get down to business over 3 months. But if you're
Right.
not really committed, maybe this isn't the right program for you. And really, it's not a
Mhm.
lot. Like, what would you say? Maybe 3 or 4 hours a week, like in total between everything that you do.
For me, it was easy because I've gone through a lot of this stuff. I mean, it took me maybe probably an hour max for the one that had the most worksheets. I can't remember which one it was, but I think that was the longest I ever spent just because, well, I already knew, my purpose and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty, actually, the sheets were great because they helped me expand on that a bit more and, just, yeah,
Yeah,
drive
I think it
home.
was vision crafting. Yeah, vision crafting, I think, is the worksheets, I think, are 2.5 hours to do all the worksheets because they're pretty in depth, especially when you get into your 12 category life vision and you're talking about your edu you like your contribution vision, your family vision, your infinite life vision, your finite life vision, and there's the 12 categories. That could take quite a while. So I think that that's probably the week that takes the longest to do the worksheets.
Yeah, I guess I had that all integrated into my business, so or into my vision. So, it really, yeah, I think an hour, maybe 45 minutes at the most. Just,
Yeah,
I knew all that stuff and I was like, okay, well. So
awesome. Sweet. That's perfect. So then, so you would say there wasn't really anything like the search sessions were amazing, but there wasn't anything specific like feature or aspect. It was just kind of everything in conjunction, the weekly calls, the videos, the training videos, the worksheets, the search sessions, kind of a combination of everything.
yeah, everything flowed nicely and just, one after the other was right, it was spot on. Just, what you were looking to do next or, how you're looking to get to that next level.
That's
It all
awesome.
flowed nicely. Yeah. So
Sweet.
anybody trying to get into it, they'll they'll be able to follow it easily. So
Yeah. I really try to, focus on it not being too overwhelming because I understand people own businesses, right? And they work
mm,
a lot of hours. So it's like it's something that needs to be done in a few hours a week, right? Maybe half an hour a day, 40 minutes a day, like nothing too crazy where it might be 3 hours or 3.5 hours in a week. But like some of the weeks didn't even take you that. But I really
yeah.
wanted to make it just like bite-sized pieces that are transformational over a longer period of time. So sometimes, like if somebody comes into the program and they see 61 videos. Holy, that's a lot. When really a lot of those videos are like 3 minutes, 6 minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes, 12 minutes. Like they're nothing too crazy. It's not like 60 videos that are like 55 minutes long each or anything along those lines. Cause
Yeah.
business owners are busy, right? Like I want
Yeah.
fast transformation and I want to get straight to the point and right into it and get all the stuff out there and get all the stuff completed as short as possible. Yeah, so that's awesome, man. Sweet. Well, thank you. And with so like what advice would you give to like anybody who is considering the program, but maybe was like on the fence about joining? Maybe either they are a little scared to dive into deep emotional stuff that's holding them back or subconscious stuff that's holding them back, or maybe they're a little bit what is it? Maybe a little bit in they don't really understand the power of energetics in business and how you create a massive business is all through energy. And they're a little hesitant about that because they have cultural programming that's basically taught them, no, you grind it out and you work your butt off. And when the season's busy, you get to work and that's all you do. And they work themselves into the ground and they don't think energy has to do with anything. What kind of advice would you give those people with like those cultural blocks or those subconscious blocks?
Take a risk on yourself. I mean, you know, you never know unless you do it. So, and fast action is really what makes people ultimately really successful, I mean, millionaires and billionaires, they make decisions now and then they stick to that, until it's done. So do it. Just, yeah, it's so worth it. I mean, yeah, I, I don't know.
Thank you. Okay. That's all.
It's so
It's
worth
working.
it.
It's all good. Yeah. So, but it's so true. It's like, that's the thing. It's like when you see multimillionaires and billionaires, they go and they make decisions quickly and they change their mind. They change their mind slowly. And then
Hmm.
people who are not at that level where they've got like a lot of emotional blocks, it takes them a very long time to make a decision. They pine over a decision. Part of them saying, oh, I should do it. Part of them saying, oh, I don't want to spend the money. Whatever the case may be, they just juggle with it back and forth with their stress, anxiety, and their like limiting beliefs or their thought patterns. And they can't make a decision quickly. It's like, no, I can't
Right.
decide right now. Can you give me a week? Can I think about it? Can I sleep on it? Where it's like, fast action is the best way, be slow to change your mind and be fast to make a decision
Hmm.
and just
Yeah.
stick with
I
it
mean, money likes speed. So ultimately, yeah,
completely.
either do it or don't do it, but don't say you're going to sleep on it. And then, that just like the saying, I'll do it tomorrow. Don't do that. Do it now. Cause it's,
That's
it's so
awesome.
true. I mean, it's delaying the inevitable and, with
Completely. And
anything,
that's
if you do it, you'll get the results. So,
sweet. Thank you very much, William. Okay, and last question. Okay, so now
mhm.
that you're pretty much like at the end of like the magic mindset method, 90-day business accelerator, what are your next goals and how do you feel like the programs equipped you to tackle them? you want to dive a little bit into like the piece of land you're looking to buy, the business you're looking to start, kind of your big goals and dreams, and just give anyone
Mhm.
who's watching like a lot of inspiration on what's possible in a short amount
Yep.
of.
So right now, I mean, I guess my main goal right now is to sell my current company, and then I'm going to start raising capital of $6 million to start up a gold mine in Arizona, and that's just the beginning of it. I mean, it'll probably be 4 or 5 million dollars throughout the year that I have to spend, paying my investors back and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, that's just it. Again, I mean, if you don't do it, you don't know, and for me, it goes back to I don't want to be on my deathbed and wish I had done something. So, if you want to do something, do it. Don't wait till you're at that stage where you're, wishing you had done it. So it's, I have a lot of big things I want to do, just with the mines. And then also I want to have schools on each site and location, where we're educating kids. If, they're already gone through the public school system, we'll help them get back to, expanding their consciousness and that kind of stuff. And then also, I want to, not only in Africa, but I want to go all around the whole world and just, build homes and schools and water wells and all that kind of stuff. And just a lot of community service work is, kind of where I want to be once I get all the other mining stuff going. Just, that'll be, I don't know that I'll ever retire, but it's just, that'll be my retirement, so called,
Yeah,
just helping other
completely.
people. That's what I love to do. So yeah, that's going to be the gist of it, is just, yeah, I mean, I'll have a house in Arizona and that kind of stuff, and probably put on events, here and there or something like that. But yeah, it's just gonna. I don't know where it's gonna go from here, but obviously it's just gonna get bigger and more fun, helping more people, and I'll probably like if somebody works for me, I'll be like a coach to them and help them get their mindset right. That's gonna be one other thing in my company culture is we're not going to have any radios in the machines. We're going to have books playing at all times and that kind of stuff. And just, we don't want to allow that garbage in people's heads. We want the good stuff, what they need in order to get to where they want to be in their life. And, ultimately that's what we're there for, is to help them get to their goals as they're helping us get to ours. So,
Yeah. The best way, yeah, that's for sure. I've similar goals as you do, like with the water wells and having like a whole foundation set up for like philanthropy and charity work. I want to like set up
mhm.
another company in the future in the next few years. As I grow this company, I want to set up another company that does that. So it's pretty awesome. Maybe we could set it up together. Go and build
Absolutely.
some water wells, some housing, do some great things. So how would you say like
Yes.
the program like equipped you to like kind of tackle your goals, like moving forward?
Well, to get to these bigger, these next stages, I mean, I think I feel like I had to be more confident because I'll have to come up against certain things that I probably used to would be scared of or whatnot. And now I can just take it on and figure it out as I go. And,
That's
I
right.
feel like I'm more calm in any situation. There may be times where I may be a little stressed or whatever, but nothing extreme. I know I have the breath work and all that kind of stuff that'll really just get me out of it in 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. And you're back to
Completely.
normal and get back at it. So it's,
That's awesome,
there's
man.
so
Yeah,
many tools
just
in this program that you'll be able to use for a lifetime.
completely. Yeah. The daily winning formula, it's like stick with it like it's like a religion. Like your energy is everything. And if you protect
Mhm.
your energy and you like constantly like in the curriculum, just like anyone who's watching, like I go and I talk about, the power of strengthening your physical energy so you can go and you can process your emotional energy, so you can focus your mental energy and you can be in your spiritual energy. So the more you can go and protect your energy, it's like sky's the limit. You're already attracting investors. You're already bringing, look how much business you've just brought into your life, people you're meeting, business that's coming your way. You have the communication and the confidence to go and get these deals and to get this stuff done. If you get into a rut, you're not in a rut for a month. You're in a rut for a couple days, a week tops, and you're back at it. Like all of these things, they are such a huge stepping stone towards where you want to be. So I'm
Mhm.
excited for you. And I'm not only excited and happy that, you joined the program, you got such amazing results. I'm really happy that we're going to have lifelong friendship. And I can see your
Yeah.
journey from where you were in on November 28th, 2023. And where you're going to be in 2 years from now, 3
Yeah, I
years
can't
from
even.
now, 5 years from now. So it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate it, William.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Sweet. Well, in that case, I am going to end this Zoom. And well, I'm going to end the live, and we can chat for a couple more minutes. And thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value. You want a lot of transformation in your business, in your life, with your energy, your health, your relationships, your happiness, and you want to start attracting a massive amount of business into your life the way William is. Reach out to me on Facebook. Let's get on a quick call, a quick strategy call, and let's talk about, the way the program works, different options, and let's help craft you that dream life that you want. Because really putting off the time, taking the time to, think about it or procrastinate and be like, oh, maybe I'll talk to Cost in 2 months from now. You could be 2 months closer to your goals. So really, you never want to go and wait on anything. You want to just get on all of it and create some amazing things in your life. And we can definitely do that together. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you again, William. I really appreciate you. Thank you.